Hey guys, how's it hanging everybody? This is StormPow, and today we are taking a look at the KIMAFUN 2.4 G wireless lavalier and headset mic combo. So KIMAFUN sent this over to me recently to take a nice look and give a good, honest review. So here we are, and today we're going to be taking a look at everything that comes with it, which it's quite a bit, and at the very end of the video, I'll let you guys hear what it sounds like, but I really implore you to watch the entire video, and the reason for that is because there's certain aspects of all the peripherals on there. You'll get a much better understanding of what you're getting into after watching all that. So it's not just about the audio quality on this one. All right, so let's go ahead and show you guys what all comes in the box. So first of all, this is the headset part of the microphone. So as I've said, it does come with two different microphones. You get a lavalier and you get a headset. Now they both sound exactly the same, but they have different functions depending on exactly how you want to use them. They both, of course, still work the same. They can be plugged in via the auxiliary to the adapter that we'll be showing later. So you still get wireless capabilities out of either of them. But the main thing with this headset, honestly, guys, is I could not for the life of me find a good way to fit this around my head. And like, I know that I got a big head and all, but I feel like this was made for like toddlers or infant sized heads. It's very, very small, and I couldn't find a very useful way to actually fit it around my head that looked natural and still got the microphone where it needed to go. Now, the arm for the microphone is a pretty good length. I mean, I do like that, and it's of course extremely adjustable. You can move it around, and you can even adjust this to make it go up or down as you need to. So overall, I mean, it is very flexible in that sense, but all in all, I could not find a very good way to get this thing to actually fit. And if you really, really were planning on using the headset, that of course may be a deal breaker for you. But let's look at the rest and see what we've got going on. Next up is the lavalier portion of this. So overall, this is a lot more straightforward, and I have pretty much no complaints about this part of it. You know, it's very standard. It's got this clip on here that you can use to clip onto your shirt, whether it be your lapel or, you know, in between your buttons or even just on a t-shirt. You can also remove the microphone. If you loosen up this clamp here, then you can adjust it as you need to. If for whatever reason you maybe, you know, want to use a different microphone, you can use this on here, honestly. You know, it's just there if you do need to move it over. Got pretty much the exact same length cord that plugs into the adapter that we'll be showing later. But yeah, pretty much same thing here. The wind cap comes off a lot easier on this one, which is not a huge deal unless you're planning on, you know, doing things that are extremely mobile, extremely physical, where it may be able to come off. I do wish that it was a little bit more snug on there somehow, because they definitely figured it out. I mean, on the headset, you know, the wind cap is pretty much not coming off. You've got to be really trying to get that thing to come off, whereas here on the lavalier, it is pretty much very easy to go ahead and get that pulled off. So like I said, with the portability of lavalier microphones, I feel like it could be just a little bit more snug, but overall it's built very well. The clamp is very sturdy. You know, it feels like it's good material. I don't feel like I'm about to break it like I have felt on some clamps like this. So overall, good. You know, really my main and only gripe is that I wish that this thing were able to come on, or stay on rather, a little bit easier. Speaking of windscreens, it does actually come with 2 replacement windscreens, which is always a solid plus, just in case you do actually end up losing one. So now let's talk about the transmitters. So this thing basically comes with 2 different pieces. You are going to have this one right here, which is what plugs into your audio device, whether that will be maybe your camera or one of the other adapters that we'll be showing later on. This is what actually receives the audio. So it's basically just got this auxiliary male, and right here it's got the switch where you can turn it on or off, and also where you can charge it via micro USB. And then we've got the other side of it here, which has the female auxiliary, and it's got the same stuff over here, an on and off switch and a micro USB charging. And it's also got this right here, because they do include this bad boy right here, which you can use to easily slide on there. And then you've got yourself a nice little belt clip, because this is of course the actual part that the microphone will plug into. So a lot of times you will want to clip this onto your belt or onto your pants or anything like that. Keep it kind of out of sight, out of mind, and it keeps everything attached. Pairing was incredibly easy. I did really enjoy that, and it only took just a few seconds. You'll basically just go on here and you will flip the on switch on both of them. Give it just a few moments here. You'll see the blue lights. They're blinking. And once they go solid, then that means you are connected and you are ready to go. So as you saw, only took just a few seconds there, and you're good to go. Now, one thing that is different on the output side of it is that you'll see volume controls. So you can of course press these buttons to turn your volume up or down respectively. I wish there was just a little bit of a better way to tell exactly how loud you were turning it up, but as a general rule of thumb, I think it has about 10 different steps. So basically from 0 to 10 are your volume controls. I don't feel like you'll be using it a lot. You'll probably find one volume that works well for you and leave it at that. It would be kind of nice though if there was some sort of indicator that you've hit the max volume instead of just continuing to press the volume up and up and up and up and up until you quit noticing that it's getting any louder. I do wish that there was some sort of indicator for that, but they do have indicators for the battery lights, which is really cool. It does flash when the battery is nearing its end on there. So that is very useful to let you know that, hey, you need to quit the recording session and go charge these bad boys. So I did really appreciate that. So I'll cover this one individually here. This is the output because it has a lot more straightforward functionality. Basically, you are going to plug the microphone into this. So for example, you will get the microphone plug right here and you just go ahead and plug them in right there. Now, one thing that's really cool is they do actually have these screws on here. So what you can do is you can tighten this up to prevent the auxiliary from getting unplugged. So now, as you can see, I'm pulling on it and it's actually not unplugging. So I thought that was a super useful feature that they put on there just to prevent it from getting unplugged. If you're doing something a little bit more physical or you're bending down, this will 100% prevent that auxiliary from accidentally getting unplugged and you losing the audio for your recording session. So big props to them for that. And so basically, no matter which setup you're using, whether it be the headset or the lavalier, you just plug it up directly into the output transmitter like that. And then you clip the microphone on your lapel or you put the headset around you and you're good to go. Once it's turned on and paired, then it will be sending audio to that bad boy. Speaking of this bad boy, this is where things get just a little bit more complex. Not necessarily in a bad thing, but you've got a couple different options as to how you can actually send your audio or receive it rather. So this thing comes with several different adapters, which I'm going to be covering here. First of all, let's take a look at the charging adapter that it comes with. It is actually a USB to 2 different micro USBs and it splits off right here, which I thought was a really nice touch. They didn't necessarily have to include that, but it makes charging incredibly convenient because you can just go ahead and plug this into maybe your computer or even your car. If you're doing something really remote for your recording session, you could charge this in your car with it being just regular USB or into a little phone brick adapter. You can use this basically anywhere that you have USB charging, which is everywhere these days, and you can charge both of them at the exact same time with no need for an extra port. Super nice touch. Again, a little quality of life or convenience feature that they threw in that I really appreciate it. So you can charge both of these guys at the exact same time to make sure that they're all evenly lined up. You're not charging one and then having to take a break, charge the other. Super convenient. But anyway, on to the actual parts that receive the audio. We've got a couple of different options here. Now, this is the one that personally I like to use, and this is the one that plugs into a computer. As you can see, it is just a regular USB, but then it has got 2 ports. You've got this one for the microphone itself and then this one for headphone output. So basically what you could do is go ahead and plug in the receiver right here and then plug this into USB on your computer and you're good to go. And you'll be able to actually record the audio directly to your computer. So if the situation that you're using dictates that the audio go directly to your computer, you don't necessarily need it recorded straight to your camera or your phone or anything like that, then you're good to go. And I think that that's a useful feature. And this has also got headphone quality out on it. So basically I could plug this into my computer right now and then I would be able to record the audio using one of the microphones. And then on the flip side, I could also have my output right here and this will play the entire output of the audio on my computer, which is cool. Now, one thing that I did notice though is that for me, the audio quality coming out of that headphone jack was really bad. The first time that I did a test recording with this microphone, I actually listened to it back on that and I thought, oh my gosh, this microphone does not sound good at all. But I realized that it was just the quality of this output here. Once I went back and listened to it on just a regular playback on my computer without actually using that as the output, I realized that it didn't sound all that bad. So at least in my experience, I don't know if there was maybe some sort of user error on there, but it seems pretty straightforward to just plug your headphones into that. The quality was not that good for me personally. I do also wish that there was some sort of a screw or something like that for the microphone here, because as you can see, this comes out very easily. But the fortunate thing of that is that it should be sitting pretty still, especially if you're using like a desktop computer and not something more mobile like a laptop. You just plug this in and, you know, set it off to the side, but it does come out pretty easily. So the fact that they thought to put the screws in there for, you know, the other side, I do wish that there was a piece that connected to do so there as well. Not the end of the world, but it would have definitely been a nice touch. And here we've got basically the exact same thing, except this goes to your phone. So this goes to the headphone jack on your phone, and then you've got two different auxiliary female ports here. So you've got the one that is for the headphones and then one for the microphone. So the same concept. This way you can still listen back to the audio on your phone. Super useful. And you can also record on here. So assuming your phone actually still has a headphone jack, or you've at least got the adapters so that way you can plug it into your phone, then that's a super quick solution. If you're maybe vlogging using your phone or doing any other kind of recording on your phone, then you can actually go ahead and connect the lavalier microphone to that. Super useful, again, for vloggers or, you know, content creators these days who use phones. Fun fact, this video that you're watching right here, recorded with my iPhone. The more you know. Nextly, let's talk about this guy. This is a 6.35 millimeter adapter, and basically this is useful for hooking it up to stereos or PA systems. So you can actually just hook the receiver right up to that, and you'll want to go ahead and screw it in there. So again, it stays nice and put, and there you go. You can plug this into your PA system. So, you know, maybe if you're using this for like a large event, not necessarily for your at-home recording, but more so for like live PA or anything like that. Super useful. I thought that this would plug into my XLR interface that I use for my YouTube and for my live streaming, because I've actually got a 6.35 millimeter input on there for instruments and stuff, but for whatever reason, it didn't quite pick up when I tried to use that. So that could very well be some sort of user error on my end, but I don't see why it wouldn't work necessarily, you know, but then again, that's not exactly what it's designed for. It's more designed for PAs and things like that. So I understand that it didn't quite work there on my XLR setup, but just wanted to throw that out there for you, that it does come with this. And again, it's really nice that they included this, and it is, you know, special to this with it screwing in and everything like that. Really nice little feature that they threw in there that, in my opinion, they didn't necessarily have to do, but they did. So could also be used for church services or public speaking or anything like that. You know, especially if you're using the headset option, you know, I feel like this was more designed for that, but there you go. Now, speaking of using these guys on different setups, you know, different pieces of equipment like PA systems, I found it very interesting to learn that you can actually use other microphones on this. And what I mean is that I have another lavalier microphone, one by Mauno, that they sent over, and it's actually just a regular wired lavalier microphone that I've got. And just for kicks, I was curious, I plugged it into here, and then of course paired the receivers here and the transmitters and went on, and I was able to actually record using one of my other microphones, not the Kima Fun microphone, not even one that is specifically designed to be wireless, one that is meant to be wired. And I was still able to record using this extremely easily. Didn't require any different changes to the setup. I just plugged it into here as if I were plugging in the Kima Fun microphone, and not only did it record easily, but I was also able to still adjust the volume using these controls over here. So that was really cool to me, that this is not extremely proprietary. You can use this in the future. So it's really good to know, and it might even give you a little bit of ease or consciousness in your purchase that, you know, say you go and spend 60 bucks on this now and it works for you and you're good to go, but later on down the line you decide you want to upgrade and get a higher quality microphone, but you don't feel like buying new wireless transmitters in the process. Well, no worries, you can go ahead and plug it into here. Now, I'm not sure, you know, exactly to what extent Kima Fun supports that, you know, so if you do run into any issues, I'm not really sure if they'd be able to assist with troubleshooting it or anything like that. But from what I can tell, as long as the microphone that you're using has auxiliary, then you should be good to go, because again, the microphone that I used isn't even intended to be used wirelessly, and it worked really easy. I didn't have to do anything to get that going. So definitely something to note. And again, it might make you feel a little bit better about your purchase. In the box, along with all the other goodies, we of course get this nice note from Kima Fun customer service, and it just lets us know a little bit about their team, gives you a nice direct email address to contact, which I think is pretty cool. And then we also get the user manual, of course. And you know, normally if you've watched my other unboxing videos, I don't show a whole lot about these, but honestly, I really did appreciate their user manual. It was very useful useful and actually really in-depth. A lot of these are just like 2-page instructions where they just say, all right, to use this, plug it in and turn it on, and now it works. But no, this actually went pretty in-depth and was very user-friendly. Even goes into using, you know, Windows and Mac audio control panels. For those of you who don't know a lot about that right now, shows exactly what each different piece of equipment is useful for, and also it has a whole list of troubleshooting, like kind of some FAQs. So really good props to them on a good user manual, one that I didn't immediately throw away, and in fact I referenced a couple times throughout testing the microphone. If something wasn't immediately certain as to what I'm supposed to use this for or anything like that, I actually checked this out to, you know, get a little bit more answers or information about the features. So again, props to them. All right, and now that you've seen all the peripherals that come with the KIMAFUN headset and lavalier mic, now you get to hear what it sounds like. So this is actually some raw, unedited audio from this, and in this section I'm just going to be kind of covering my final thoughts on it and letting you know what I think about it. So right now this product is on Amazon for about $60, which to me is not bad considering what all you get. The quality is actually pretty good. Out of the other lavalier microphones that I've tried, this is definitely one of the better sounding mics. Right now I've got everything set on max as far as the volume and everything. I did notice that it is a little quiet. I would like for there to be some better settings for middle ground and everything, because right now I'm obviously talking pretty loud. I'm trying pretty hard to project my voice, and I've got everything set at max. I noticed that if you set your audio recording from anything other than pretty much max volume, it'll be very, very quiet and almost unusable audio. So I do wish that it recorded a little bit louder. Like, to me, I would like the option of max volume to honestly sound terrible, you know, and then I would like to be able to go down from there, whereas I feel like max volume is like the default and really the only usable volume setting on this microphone. That's one of my biggest complaints. But as far as the actual quality of it goes, I think the audio sounds pretty crisp and it sounds pretty sharp. There's not a whole lot of background noise, and again, that can be very easily removed with just a very little bit of post-production or noise reduction in something free like Audacity that you're looking at right here. And just so you guys know, the audio quality is exactly the same on the lavalier as it is to the headset. Personally, like I talked about earlier, I didn't quite find the headset part of it much to my liking as far as the actual fit of it. So I feel like you should probably stick with the lavalier unless you just really, really need the headset for one reason or another, or if that's the aesthetic that you're going for in your recording. But I almost would say that that is pretty useless. You should get this for the lavalier portion of it and for the wireless capabilities. I think that with it having wireless capability, that's super, super useful if you're trying to do anything outdoors. Maybe you know need to stay a decent little ways away from your camera or anything like that. It's very useful. So I think that if you need a good lavalier microphone and you need it to be wireless, you should definitely look into this. Now, you are paying a little bit more for that premium of it being wireless and of it being, you know, 2.4G and being able to go about 100 feet or so. So you are paying a little bit more for that premium. If the wireless is not that important to you, maybe it is worth, you know, exploring other options. You might be able to get more bang for your buck if you stick in the purely wired area. But a lot of lavalier microphones these days are wireless anyway, so if it's within your budget, I would really recommend the KIMAFUN 2.4G headset and lavalier mic. And again, you're listening to the audio right here, so if this is sufficient and you need some wireless capability and you know would like to be able to use it versatile, I really think that it's really cool how it will connect to a phone, a computer, or really just about anything that will accept the connection. So all the peripherals built in with it, I think overall it's a good value. You know, like I said, it's not perfect sounding, but then again, you're getting quite a bit of stuff for right at about $60. So if you need all that stuff, that's great. But if you don't need the wireless capability, it is worth maybe doing a little bit of shopping around. But there will be a link down in the description below where you can check it out on Amazon, get some more details, see what the current pricing is and everything like that. So other than that, guys, if you did enjoy this video, I would really appreciate it if you considered giving it a thumbs up. And if you really, really enjoyed the video and you'd like to see more, then please feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm currently working towards 1,000 subscribers here on YouTube and also 1,000 followers on Twitch. So links for all my different socials and my Discord server too will be down in the description below. So any help that you would give towards hitting those goals, I would greatly appreciate you, and I would love you forever. But anyway, guys, that is it for this video. For now, I'd like to thank you all for watching. I hope you have a nice day, and goodbye.